smashed him.
You what? What the hell? Wash your ass.
I get no bitches.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between, baby mamas, baby daddies, and I guess people on probation. My camera is off, but it is what it is. We are rolling. We are live here for once again for the GRESH UNLEASHED podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. If you are new around here, I am your purveyor of mischief, Gresh, and of course, joining me for the very first time. Well, not for the very first time. For once again, he'll be joining me shortly. You know, he's on CP time, so you know he's on color people time. Hi-Lite Real will be joining us very shortly. My camera is kind of glitchy right now, but I'm getting that fixed ASAP. But in the meantime, we are here live as always, as always and forever. We are here live and do our thing right here for the GRESH UNLEASHED podcast. If you are new around here, make sure you hit that follow button or wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your podcast. I got you covered. All you got to do is hit that follow button, as well as if you are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I believe you can hit the reviews and give me a solid review. But as always, I am usually here with my purveyor of mischief, my co-partner in mischief, that is Suela the Bandit. But of course, she is. There's my camera. It's still a little glitchy, but it is what it is. She is on assignment. She's doing some dental work right now, so she's not really going to be with us this week. She may be back next week. We will see. In the meantime, as we are continuing to wait on Hi-Lite to be fashionably late, as he always is every single time we go on live on these things. Give you a nice little rundown of today's podcast. We are reliving and reviewing TNA Lockdown 2006. We are continuing our TNA Impact month for the month of June, which is also happens to be Pride Month. Make sure you guys remember to embrace who you truly are, and never say never when it comes to being who you are. Like, live, love, and just be yourself. That's all I say, because ain't nobody else is paying, or ain't nobody else is going to be you but you, and there's no other way to do it than to be yourself. And if you are new around here, you gotta know we gotta give our shouts out to our people. We're gonna get there also on today's podcast. We're going to we're gonna give our thoughts on Cody Rhodes. He was injured during prior to WWE Hell in a Cell, as well as he's going to be taking a few months off, more than likely, with a torn pectoral muscle, as well as the injuries just keep on rolling. We got CM Punk. He is the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion, but he is out with an injury as well. So he is going to be on the shelf with a knee injury, and we're going to give our thoughts on that. And the road to the interim AEW champion began last night for AEW Dynamite. We got you covered right here on the GRESH UNLEASHED podcast, as we are still waiting the arrival of Hi-Lite Real. He is fashionably tardy as always, but you know how we do it. But of course, we got to give our special shout out to our Patreon backers, Patrons. That is whatever the tier you are. We wouldn't be able to do this podcast without you guys. Because you part with your hard-earned money every single month. Patreon.com/Gresh Digital. Thank you so much for your support and just being who you truly are. And if you are joining us live right here in the chat, make sure you just leave one in the chat. Just let me know that you are here, you are vibing with us, you are watching us wherever you're watching us, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you listen to us on wherever you listen to, or whatever you listen to us in audio format. We got a solid show for you as we continue to wait for the arrival of Hi-Lite Real. And the more I wait, the more I just want to vibe, and we're just going to keep the ball rolling as well. But like I said, we're going to be reviewing TNA Lockdown in 2006. But if you are new around here, make sure you follow us on social medias. You follow us on Instagram, you follow us on Facebook, you follow us on Twitch, you follow us on Twitter, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. That is at GRESH UNLEASHED. And without further ado, as tardy as always, you got your boy Hi-Lite Real joining us right here for the very first time. Well, not the very first time. I don't know why I keep saying very first time, but he is here officially. Hopefully his mic and all that stuff is good to go because we are good to go as well. What is going on, brother?
All right, testing. Can y'all hear me, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, my friend.
Loud and clear. What's happening, peoples? Apologies for the slight 5-minute tardiness, man. You'd be crazy. We got a new setup here in the studio.
You're fashionably late. It happens all
We're
the time.
trying. Hey, you see, man, we got the green screen. We're trying to move up like you, Gresh. You know what I'm saying? We got a little something, man. Now I just got to figure out how to get a background in the back. We'll be good. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. It's a nice little software, but we got you. I got you. Hey, man, you know I had to ramble as always, but like I said at the top of the podcast, we're going to be reviewing TNA Slammiversary 2006. That is over a decade ago. Oh no, it's not. It's nearly a decade.
We're close. We're close.
It's like two. This is like 4 years shy of a decade.
Oof, boy.
Well, no. Wait.
Oh yeah, 2000. No, almost 2 decades.
Almost 2 decades. I'm about to say 2006. Then we had 2016, 2016. So,
yikes! Time flies, man.
I'm old. Damn.
Hey, brother.
Like I said, we are continuing our TNA month for June 2022, where we review retro editions of whether it's pay-per-views or weekly shows of TNA Impact Wrestling, mainly because I am kind of tired of, like I said last week, I am kind of tired of the modern wrestling. So I'll just say, you know what, I'm feeling nostalgia. Let's just go look back at our nostalgia.
For sure.
So, brother, without further ado, we might as well get right into it.
Let's do it.
Now it's time for the TNA Lockdown 2006 retro review. And boy, this was a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
This is TNA, the new face of professional wrestling.
I always loved that intro. It was always kind of epic a little bit.
Didn't they change it a few times? It was like TNA, we are wrestling. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a few times they changed it, but that was like that one that we got in this intro, I think was like the most common.
Oh yeah, because I'm about to say, I've heard we are wrestling, cross the line. I think that was only 3. It was like this new face of professional wrestling, cross the line, and we are wrestling. Or the new face of professional wrestling.
Oh yeah, this is cool.
So this
for record,
you said what now?
Well, I was just gonna say real quick before we got into match by match. As I was looking back at this, a quick overall thought. This just reminded me of how ahead of its time TNA actually was.
With the as far as like
like for one, I know like I can't say if this is 100% accurate, but I know for me, to my understanding, TNA was one of the first shows where crowds did the whole back and forth chant for like opposite people.
Oh, you talking about like and we'll get to it when we get to the match of the what was it, AJ Styles or something, like it was split for a few people.
Senshi and Christopher Daniels, I think they did that.
Fallen Angel, let's go low key because they was trying their best to get Senshi over the name.
Yep.
I feel like TNA was on their WWE stuff with giving the name changes. They're like, you're now Senshi, no longer low key. You're just Senshi. No.
And that did not last.
But I agree. This throughout this entire show, I was like, this was proper for the year. Some of the stuff didn't age for me, but some of the stuff did, as far as like the entertainment part.
Agreed.
But this event took place on April 23rd, 2006 in the Impact Zone. I like that setup. I said it on the last review, but I like that setup, like the dual side with the baby faces on one side and then the heels on the opposite side. Like I know AEW does it with the coming out on the same stage, but like the opposite side of arena, like it's 2 different sides. I will forever say that, and I will forever repeat yourself. You're not listening to the same podcast episode. It's literally just my same thoughts. Like I like that. It just feels different. It felt different before they LOL TNA'd it.
For real, I agree, man. It just, like you said, some of it didn't age well in terms of the humor side of things. Looking back, and we'll get into that as we break it down. But yeah, man, this was that stage always was one of my favorites in terms of, like you said, heel and babyface dynamic, and of course AEW always biting, taking tributes and pieces of other promotions. So
I ain't
you know,
knocking it. Like, hey, do that. Act like other wrestling exists. Don't act like you just the only people in the
true,
world.
that's true. Props to them for it.
This entire show is steel cage matches from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I love this cold open. I didn't even know. It's like I don't know. It's like, even though I appreciate modern cold opens, like from a editor's point of view, but it's like being from good to great. Like the WWE, I'll say it to this day, like I give them their props. Their editing department deserves props and praise for even
Mm-hmm.
making you hype for the least built match. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
look back at Hell in a Cell, like the least built match got a banger of a promo package. So it's like I got to give
Mm-hmm.
them a shout out for that.
Agreed.
But I think it's my age showing, because I'm like, I appreciate these more, like the grunginess of the promos. Like it didn't feel polished. I appreciate those type of promos, I guess, because hey, like I said, this is nearly 2 decades old, and you can't you got to appreciate the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we started off with Team Japan versus Team USA. Team Japan consisted of Hiroki Goto. Is this the same Goto who's going to be competing against Tanahashi, or is that a different person I'm thinking of?
I wouldn't be surprised if it is the same, given that one, the longevity of Japanese wrestlers, and then also, if you think about it, most of the people on this card still wrestle today.
Oh yeah, most of them in
So
this match.
yeah,
I don't know about Minoru Tanaka. I don't know if he's still wrestling, but I know Black Tiger is still wrestling. He's now known
exactly.
as Rocky Romero.
Boom! Look at that.
While Team USA consisted of people who are still wrestling: Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Alex Shelley. This was the paparazzi version of Alex Shelley.
AKA, quote me on this, ladies and gentlemen, the original Seth Rollins.
True.
Hey, that hit me today, bro. When I was watching him, I was like, half blonde, half black. Huh. You know what?
The
He
Trunks.
low key. Yeah, I was like, he's low key the original Seth Rollins. How about that? I was like, yo, man, that's gonna stick with me now.
This was a standard 6-man tag team match inside the steel, so I was like, huh, this isn't going to be using none of the steel.
I have a thought with Lockdown that I would want to get your info on that. 'Cause going back to your point about how every match was like a steel cage, kind of makes me wonder. I always did like the concept of Lockdown, and then of course the 6-sided ring is always going to be legendary. So, do you think maybe, especially looking back at this, do you think having cages like for the whole pay-per-view is just a bit much?
I had that. It did cross my mind. Like by the time we got to the propaganda match, aka the anthem match,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, okay, what's the steel cage for?
Facts.
I was
Big
like,
facts.
okay, what are we doing here? What's this? What is going on? Like I expect blood across this whole pay per view. I'm seeing little to nothing. Come on now.
Little nothing. Come on, man. Yeah. I don't
But
get it, bro.
I didn't really take much notes during this match. I was like, Jay Lethal is smooth when he was in this match. Like, I know a lot of people are not really fans of Jay Lethal. It's like that's being a fan of anybody is subjective when it comes to professional wrestling. But
Mm-hmm.
you can look back at some of his matches and be like, this man was good,
Yeah.
borderline great at this
Oh,
point.
yeah.
And this was just 2006. As you can tell, as he got older and more seasoned, it's the
Mm-hmm.
curse of the older you get, the more you know. So
Yeah.
it's like he was good here, and he's gotten better now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I was thinking about that with a lot of these guys, and it was actually a great thing to see the progression of so many of these people who, like we said, still wrestle currently. And it's crazy to believe that they were rookies or the young guys
The
back
young
then.
lions.
Yeah, and now look at them. They're the veterans putting over the younger talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man.
And Jay Lethal's now bald. Why you bald?
Yeah. It took a while for me to get. It was like Triple H when he went bald. It took a minute for me to actually get used to that. I was like, man, where's the cornrows?
Why you bald? But then it's like the headache that you go through when you're getting your hair braided and rebraided and relocked, and you'll understand by the time you hit 40, you'll be like, okay, cut it off. You'll be like, okay, like just cut it off, because you be moving so much. You be like, okay, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Sometimes something goes on with my hairdresser, like I can't get the same hairdresser. They don't know. It's like just cut it off. Just cut it off.
Big facts.
Sanjay Dutt, the original player from the Himalaya. It brought me back to Martin, bro.
Nah, for real, bro. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Jerome in the house. I'm like, the Himalaya.
Oh Lord.
So Team Mexico came out during this match. Like I said, I didn't take too many notes. Like I was like, Team Mexico came out of this match, and it was at this point, I'm like, I didn't realize that this was the World X Cup like preview, because they was this is around the time they was doing the X Cup. Where like, Team USA versus Team Canada versus Team Mexico. I believe Team UK or England. I don't know how they did it. I have to look it up, but it was basically a preview.
Yeah, it was along those lines, man. This is all my territory when it comes to TNA history a lot of times, man. It was kind of cool reminding myself of like, oh yeah, I remember those days. Like, I loved when they did that. No, they don't. They honestly need to bring that back, I think, because that was really creative. That was just one of those things where I said like TNA was ahead of its time. That was one of those things I was talking about when they did that World Cup, because with AEW, we saw how they introduced the new title, the Atlantic title, and I'm looking at it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Like, I saw the bracket, and I'm thinking to myself, it's kind of reminiscent almost of that World Cup that TNA was doing, but there wasn't titles on the line. It was just more like a trophy and bragging rights. So that was kind of cool to be remembered of and reminded of that.
You also got to look back at the CWC Cruiserweight Classic.
True.
That was similar as well. Like, you had a lot of people representing other countries, and you had alternatives. They went into full detail with this tournament. Like, it wasn't thrown together a single elimination tournament. It felt like a legit tournament. Like, you had substitutions, and you had people who were like if someone went down with injury, they came in and they was prepared. Like, they treated it like a legit sport at that point. And that's why a lot of people were like, why they didn't make it like a yearly thing or a bi-yearly thing. Like, they didn't have to make it a yearly thing. You could have made it every other year, because I believe that, what was that, 2016? So they could have had it 2018 if they wanted to. But just like the Mae Young Classic, I feel like after the two, they just said whatever.
Pretty much. That sounds about right. Yeah.
But Team Japan picked up the win when Black Tiger hit the pun intended Tiger Driver on Jay Lethal to get the pin. We get a backstage interview with Team 3D. JB Jeremy Borash interviews Team 3D after showing off the Lethal Lockdown toy set. I'm like, damn, I remember back in the day when I used to get toy sets. Like, I didn't get that particular, but I got like a WWE ring with a whole bunch of action figures.
Yeah, those were the days. I had the ones where they had the little metal piece on the foot, and then they had the stage, and you put in the theme song played. That was always kind of cool.
So it's like, bro, I'm like, modern day, like that ain't finna happen now, because everybody's with social media now, so it's not really, it's very, unless you got kids. I mean, if you got kids, they probably still make them, but I ain't got kids. So Team 3D is reunited with Brother Runt, formerly known as Spike Dudley. I think this was at the point where he left WWE as well, because I think the Team 3D left in 2005, like late 2005. So this is April 2006. So I'm pretty sure this was around the time he left as well. Tonight is about pride, respect for your country. The USA propaganda, basically. Thou shall not mess with Team 3D. It doesn't sound the same when he says Team 3D. It sounds like...
You know what? I said the same thing, right? Because the funny thing about that was it sounded like he really, if you look back at that, he hesitated.
He like
he almost wanted to say the Dudley boys. He looked at Bubba. Bubba's like, "Now you can't say that. We're gonna get hit with copyright."
He's like, don't do it. So Team 3D. I'm like,
Oh, Team 3D. Nobody's ever gonna remember that name unless they're just a hardcore TNA fan. I just want to put that out there. Like, you will never remember them as Team 3D. Ever.
I mean, Bubba is lucky that they remember Bully Ray because he was so good at it.
Facts. Real big facts, bro. Oh my gosh. I forgot he was Brother Ray before Bully Ray. I was like, yeah, you're Brother Ray from now on.
Like he when he lost that weight and he just went crazy prior to Aces and Eights, and then Aces and Eights happened, and I was like, dog, this is it was at a moment where I was clamoring for a Bully Ray versus Hulk Hogan match, and I fucking hate Hulk Hogan.
Facts. Terry. We hate Terry.
Yeah, Terry. Yeah. And the more I look back at Hulk Hogan, I'm like, this dude was overrated. John Cena did it better.
Oh no. Wow. I love
Next
it.
up, we get the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. He competes against a mystery opponent inside the steel, and his opponent is, like we mentioned, formerly known as Low Key, now known as Senshi, and the crowd went silent. they had to turn the music up to block out the crickets battle rapping in the crowd.
Yeah, so this one hurts a little because I was a really big Senshi / low-key fan, especially back then. Now it's amazing because a lot of his style is kind of pretty much copied and influenced by
I feel like
everyone else.
Copy that style because I believe for me, I feel like the double stomp is the cave-in for Cameron Grimes / Trevor Lee.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm like when I instantly saw his Warriors Way from the top. I'm like, that's basically the cave-in.
Not to mention, and then of course the coup de grace. You're right. You know what I'm saying? His finisher, Finn Balor. Like all his movesets, even shout out to Janai Kai, man. Like I saw like some of the kicks he was doing, and I'm like, she does that in her moveset now. Like it's amazing how what he did that was unique back then is now not as unique because all kind of like Petey Williams, that Canadian Destroyer. Like it just really,
drag?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel bad for some of these TNA originals or guys that you remember from back then that had such a dope style, and now it's like because everybody's incorporated it and
it's a transition.
All the stuff. Yeah, it's like it's not as special. So I don't know how Low Key's doing these days. I don't know if he's still out there. I'm pretty sure he's still out there, but I haven't followed his style, so I don't know if he's.
Last time I saw him, he was on MLW. He was pretty much doing the instant. Last time I checked, he was doing like the instant knockout. So like somebody rushed him and he knocked him out. It was like quick. It was like quick and to the point. That was MLW. That was like pandemic era.
Okay, I remember him. Let me see. He had a Hitman type era.
He had that in TN, and it was TNA GFW, whichever name. You know when they was going through that name change phase.
Yeah.
And he was actually in BDC, Beatdown Clan.
I remember that. Yeah.
So he was going through. He went through some, and we can't remember Cabal.
Wasn't that the WWE guy? Yeah, that was the WWE name, right? Yeah.
Cabal,
aka Laycool's pet.
Ball. I'm surprised they didn't have them up there rubbing his head like, my precious.
Oh man, how forgettable too. I mean, it was really a short-lived run, but back to the match.
Yeah, they were Low Key or Senshi and Christopher Daniels were former tag team partners in Triple X. They was tag team champions at one point. Senshi, I didn't really take too many matches because I was like studying it. Like I'm trying to tell you, people don't need to understand why I don't take a lot of notes anymore. I study these things. Like I'm just looking at everybody. So I'm just gonna call him because I don't even acknowledge Senshi. Low Key kicks be sounding like he's taking liberties. Like you heard the impact on the kick to the chest that he did, and said, and I had headphones. So I was like, God, I had to take my headphones off because I'm like, bro,
stiff.
That sound like it hurt.
Straight stiff, man. I was like, goodness gracious.
It's like the impact and the precision of it just be getting like every time. It don't matter how many matches I see of him. Every time I see a match, I'm like, I don't want to take that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there it is. We know Josh is got that infamous line. You know, I think that every time I see it.
I don't want to take that. Hold
I
on.
ain't taking that one.
If you skip like what's her name on Twitter? Shouts out like from GF not GFW. Is it GFW? GC like I was
GCW, I
is
think.
it CCW
CCW.
CZW.
Ah,
What's her name? Miss Ruthless Lala. Yeah, have you heard that name?
I have heard that. Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen her Lariats?
No, I have not. I don't think I've seen him. Let me see. Hold on.
She's on Twitter at Ruthless Lala.
I have seen him. Yes, I do know her. Yeah,
I want
remember that.
her Lariats to me are like low keys Lariats. I mean kicks. I will not take that.
Yep.
And if I do, I will die. My whole body will go to the shadow realm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt, man. That's gonna take your whole soul. Finish him. Oh shoot!
Game over.
You
Fatality. Fatality.
Oh man! Oh my god!
But we finally got a steel to the flesh contact when Daniel suplexed low key into the cage. As the match progressed, they was literally one up each other. Like it was so hard hitting to the point where I'm like, bro, do y'all legitimately hate each other? That's how good they were.
Oh yeah.
Daniels hit a DVD Death Valley Driver, followed up by the BME, the best moonsault ever, for a 2 count. You know, Daniels gave the gimmick. Oh my god, he kicked out. Daniels rammed Shinshi into the cage and teased for the Angel's wings from the top. I'm like, bro, you trying to break this man's neck. But of course, he fought him off and went for the Warriors way. But Daniels got out of the way. Daniels then went for the Angel's wings, but Shinshi low key pushed him back and reversed it into a bridge and used his feet for leverage to pick up the win. This match was awesome, hard hitting. I enjoyed it. What did you enjoy overall about this match?
Arguably for this one, it was probably one of those where you say match of the night. Crowd was really into it, especially towards like the most heated parts at the end. You got the birth, I believe. I think there was a "This is awesome" chant in there.
Yeah, I feel like that was the first. That's around the time when it was kind of becoming a thing.
Yeah,
they were still trying to find the rhythm because some people was like, "This is awesome," and they was like, "This is awesome." Like you could tell people were trying to get the "This is awesome."
Mm-hmm.
This was before they did the clap, so it's like they was trying to get they was trying to get it over.
Oh yeah. It was one of those. So, yeah, nice back and forth. Like I said, always been a fan of Christopher Daniels for sure. Especially Fallen Angel. Christopher Daniels, one of my favorite gimmicks from Christopher Daniels. And then, as I mentioned, we told me, how I felt about Low-Key Senshi. Like was a big fan of his back then for sure. So it's cool. Probably arguably the best match of the night.
No, yeah. Then we get backstage interview with the James Gang and Bullet Bob Armstrong, and this is where I'm like, oh, we dipping into the racist territory. All right.
Oh, I'm so glad I am not the only one that thought that, bro. Oh my god! And that's not even counting what happened in the actual match. So we're gonna get to all of that.
We're gonna get to all that. So we're getting an arm wrestling match with the winner giving the loser 10 lashes. They want to whip some Mexicans is what I got from this promo.
In my mind, let me tell you, I got some this is totally not PG type vibes. Because, like, let's just start in the fact that Billy Bob said something along the lines of, no, I'm sorry, BG said it when he's like, Lord knows I've taken plenty of straps from him, and you about to feel mines. And then here comes Billy Gunn. Daddy always said I was a strap boy.
No, that was Mama. He said, Mama always said I was a strappy young man. I'm like, what does that even mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, in my mind, I'm like, am I supposed to be feeling like this is a sexual reference, or y'all literally still talking about straps here? Because this could go either way in meaning.
Yeah, I'm like, pause. It's like I felt like a pause was supposed to be somewhere in there. I'm like, pause.
Big pause.
Like,
For real, bro.
Where we going with this? Like, you got me out here doing a cross symbol. Like, what? What's going on?
What's going on?
And then Road Dogg shirt said "God Jesus." I'm like, you sure don't.
That was popular back then. You know, I saw him showing off the Christianity beliefs, but it still was kind of like, yeah, bro, not that doesn't tie in well. But hey, that's just us looking outside the box. Just saying.
Was that their take on Got Milk?
Yeah, I remember that was big back then because the Got Milk ad was big. So, you know, a Christian just kind of like took it, did a little spin. People do it all the time, even today now, where they'll just take something popular and put a Christian quote in it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, like when they take a secular song and make it Christian.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right, and I laugh at them every time. I'm like, bro, sit down. Sit down. What are you doing?
Oh my
Let
God.
it go. Then we move on to the actual arm wrestling contest. Bullet Bomb Armstrong. He was 66 at this point.
Oh no, he was 77. I think 70 something. Yeah, he was. That was a 70 some odd man.
I thought they said 66. I mean, either or, he was old as hell.
Oh yeah.
It was versus Conan. This was early days LAX with Hernandez and Homicide. Long before Santana and Ortiz, and long before the version that's in MLW right now. So
my favorite LAX of all time, anyway. The OG LAX will always be the best. But I do like Santana and Ortiz, though. I just, you know, this LAX always my favorite.
It was icy a little bit. Hernandez almost tripped on the entrance. You see that little dip on the stage. You see that little dip on the stage because you got the stage and then you got the part where it's like a pyro.
Yeah,
the pyro comes out. He dipped. I'm like, oh, bro, you can't play that off, bro.
Super Max indeed, boy. I tell you,
Max. And then when we got to this, I'm like, the only thing I could write down was like, does arm wrestling entertain people? Because I was not entertained.
You know, to me, I said to myself, now this is some real WWE type ish right here.
And they did it like, what was it? They did it for the Bobby Lashley and Omos feud.
Yeah, they really did.
On Raw, and that's an arm wrestling match.
That's why I say it's kind of one of those things where it shows why WWE is still stuck in the past, because they still do this type of stuff today, right?
See, them back then is weird, but what they do now, if you look at they're targeting YouTube with that arm wrestling stuff. Every time they upload an arm wrestling thing, it always breaks numbers. Weird. Every time. It's so like it's a group out there, an algorithm out there that just craves arm wrestling matches. Why?
Really weird.
I don't know. But it's like, what are you doing? You just want to see who. The only time I acknowledge arm wrestling is if I'm at the family cookout with a drunk uncle who thinks he can whoop me, but he never does. That's the only time I deal with arm wrestling. But other than that, I'm like, this is entertaining somebody, but it ain't me.
Yeah, no, wasn't doing it for me either. I just really kept saying, I'm like,
imagine
TNA. Oh yeah, and I love, y'all know I love me some TNA. I love Impact, all those, but like, even looking back at that now, I'm saying to myself, yeah, that's where guys like BG James and Billy Gunn, those guys that came from the WWE realm, yeah, they influenced all of that. I was like, y'all brought the WWE to TNA with that.
And I was looking at it, I'm like, bro, this is a pay-per-view, and we got an arm wrestling match on here.
In a cage, of all places. You didn't even need the cage for that.
No, you could have did that in the backstage. To be honest with you, you could have did that backstage, legitimately in the interview area. You could have just said, "Let's set the arm wrestle table right now. Let's do it."
Exactly.
Just being all dramatic.
Waste of space.
Waste of space. Waste of time. You could have actually put it on TNA Impact for all I care.
Facts.
Bullet Bomb won after the teasing of the back and forth, like, oh, Conan gonna do it. Yeah, he won, and then now the losing team gets to get whipped. And BG James, for some reason, went on a rant. Say hello to my leather friend. I guess he was trying to quote Scarface, not realizing that Scarface and Mexicans are not the same.
Did not age well at all.
Like, sir. All I could write down, I said, who was this entertainer? Because this felt hella racist.
Boy, what you talking about? Especially, bro, when BG James was like, "Oh, that was Uno. Now we're getting ready to do dos." I'm like, you really trying to slow talk some Mexicans that are completely Latin and know how to fluently speak a whole lot better than you do. And you trying to talk to them like they dumb and they own their tongue. Wow. It's like, we're going dos. That means two. I'm like,
and he said, "Oh, we're gonna go trace." I was like, "I mean thrace." I'm like, "Oh, shut the fuck up! Shut up!" It's like this entire time. I'm like, "Bro, shut up! Shut up!"
Oh boy, I tell you, I was just like, I want to forget this, and this is a retro review. That's funny. I was like,
these retro reviews remind me. I'm like, bro, a lot of this stuff did not age well.
Not at all, because you and I both know. Try to do that segment, that whole thing. Try to do that in 2022. Not you are not getting away.
I'm not even talking about cancel culture. I'm talking about sponsors and all these people. Like, yeah, get this shit off my TV. No, Billy Gunn is right where he needs to be, a manager of the Ass Boys. That's all I'm saying. Moving on from this segment because I want to forget it as soon as possible. We get a backstage interview with Team Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, America's Most Wanted, and then Scott Steiner, fresh off of his, I guess, leave of WWE as well, because I believe he was in WWE the year prior or 2 years prior. I don't know when he left. I know he had that interesting feud with Triple H and then fell down the card and then left.
Yep. Sounds about right.
And that wasn't even his fault. They literally miscast him. Scott Steiner is a heel. He should never be a babyface. And if he is a babyface, he should never change. He should still be a prick.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, they did not let that run go too well. But they did the same mistake with Goldberg in that first go run. They just couldn't use any of the WCW guys the way we remember them. But hey.
No. Larry Zbyszko is still trying to figure out this big announcement because I guess that's a running gimmick of the entire show. He's running in and out of interviews, and I'm like, you're a thing, because it was a gimmick for Slammiversary as well. So I was like, when we did the review, I'm like, and it's like when he walked in, I'm like, is this deja vu? What the? Why does it seem like he always got about a big announcement every time he walks into the frame? What is going on?
Exactly.
We got a Scott Steiner promo out of this one. I'm like, I ain't write down anything he was saying because it's literally a Scott Steiner promo. Like, you just got to watch it to see exactly what I'm talking about. They're building up to the main event. So next up, we get a X Division escape match with an X. You got Elix Skipper with Simon Diamond versus Petey Williams with Coach D'Amore, who is now a EVP in the current Impact Wrestling, versus Chris Sabin versus Chase Stevens versus Shark Boy, pre-Stone Cold parody, versus Puma, now known as TJ Perkins.
Wow.
I wrote down because D'Amore kept getting in the commentary's face, and Mike Tenay said, "Take a hike, Canadian bacon."
Yeah, another racial slur, I see, but hey, I'll take it. Whatever.
I'm like, what does that even mean?
You talk about the aging, man. When you realize this was 2006. Yep, sounds about right. You can get away with all that back then. Not no more. Nope.
I like how Puma was on Team Mexico when the guy portraying him is from Missouri.
Facts. That is true. Wow. Yeah. Even Skipper, man.
But the rules of this match is pinfall, submission, elimination to the final two, where the only way to win is by escaping the cage. But Elix Skipper, I believe he works in Douglasville now. If the last I heard, after he retired.
Yeah, man, he was my guy back then, man. He was Shelton Benjamin before Shelton Benjamin, low key, to a degree.
Yeah. When I was watching this, I'm like, yeah, this is Shelton Benjamin. Who else? Well, really, modern Jay Lethal.
Yeah, you could even say that, like a modern day Jay Lethal, to a degree.
Like it's a lot of these guys wrestled the same. I'm pretty sure they all trained together, but they all pretty much wrestled the same. They had that smoothness to them.
Oh yeah, the thing that got me was, did you see when Elix made his entrance? How that man literally hopped the cage into the ring.
Yeah, I'm like hops.
You got hops, and
be
boy,
honest
I
with
hope you didn't regret that later.
to be honest with you, he's a modern Montez Ford.
Ooh, okay. I see where you went there.
As soon as I went with the hops, I'm like, hops, Montez Ford, because that dude got hops for days.
Yeah, man. That I saw that interest alone and was just like, yeah, bro, man, I almost forgot how good you were. Almost. Because
Almost.
anybody that can do that, I ain't never seen not one current wrestler hop a cage into the ring like that. I'm like, dog, that's different level.
Hey man. So this match is basically, I like I say, anytime it's an X division match, I literally don't pay too much. Like I don't take too many notes because it was literally a chaotic match. Like I said, Williams hit. So I'm just gonna let you know the eliminations. Like I would tell you to just take a look at it and just watch it for yourself. Williams hit Sharp Boy with the Canadian Destroyer. You know the move before it became a transition move on Sharp Boy to score the first elimination. Chase Stevens literally hit a shooting star press off the cage and got nothing. This man went face first and ate shit on the floor. I'm like, and then I think it was Dunn West who said he broke his neck. And he's doing this already. And this was my reaction. Are you stupid?
No, seriously, bro. Seriously. Like you took Daredevil to a whole nother level, brother. That was just Daredumb. I don't know, but
like he literally ate nothing. I'm like, bro, you ate nothing but canvas. So I guess they had to wrap it up because I'm pretty sure he literally knocked himself out. Skipper hit him with the air raid crash to get the next elimination. And then I guess it was at one point they was teasing a team up between Petey Williams and Skipper. I believe they were part of two factions as well. I think it was
Team Canada and then the Diamond. I almost said Diamond Mine, but well, the original Diamond Mine, if you will, I guess. So yeah, we know where that inspiration came from. But yeah.
But no, that wasn't to be because Williams snuck up on Skipper and scored the elimination by holding the tights. The deal between the managers went up in smoke at that point. Then Sable hit the cradle shock on Puma to pick up the elimination, and then we're down to the final two. The only way to win is by escaping the cage. Williams versus Sabin. The ending came when Sabin tried to escape, but Diamore stopped him, and when Williams tried to get out, he landed on Diamore's neck, and Sabin dropped down to pick up the win. I'm like, you idiot.
Honestly, the goofiest ending you could ever have to a match when you look at that. You're like, well, wait a minute now. You just conveniently happen to be in the way, and I land on your shoulders. Meanwhile, this guy, right there neck and neck with me, right on the floor. And then you're looking, trying to sell it like, no, we won. No, you didn't, fool.
What cracked me up is when he stopped Sabin, Petey Williams could have just dropped.
True.
He literally, he had like 5 seconds to drop, and he did not. I'm like, bro, you look like a dumbass.
Yeah, y'all didn't rehearse that one too well. I don't
think. They didn't think that one through. I'm like,
so after the finish, like, hey, yeah, what we're gonna do? We're gonna just do a head-to-head thing. I'm gonna knock you down, stop, and then I'm just gonna land on Scott D'Amore's shoulders, and then you just drop. What? Okay. What? No,
y'all didn't think this was through. No. Next up, we get a backstage interview with Abyss and Father James Mitchell. James Mitchell is one hell of a promo. The sass, the execution. I'm telling you, if you are studying to be a manager of mouthpiece in professional wrestling, take notes. If this is what you want to do, like that dude, I didn't even write down everything because he has a way to draw you in. I don't praise a lot of managers or mouthpiece, but he's one of the very few that I would praise. Like, I think he's still going to this day. I believe the last time I saw him, he was doing the wedding for Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford on AEW.
Yeah, he's still very much doing his thing, man. He's definitely bald, I'd say. But hey, he's been bald for a while. Actually, it's nothing new. Yeah, he's
seeing him now with hair. I'm like, bro, you bald.
Yeah, well, it actually kind of fits his menacing look a little more when he's bald. It gives him that Dr. Evil kind of look a little bit now. But No, the long hair was a different touch, so I get it. You know, he did look cooler back then for sure with the long hair. He is definitely one of my favorite mouthpieces. One of the most underrated for sure. You know, he is definitely a guy that I'm surprised we never saw in WWE in some type of fashion.
I mean, he was. I guess if you count WWECW for like a hot spell,
True.
he was on. I think he was at the 2005 version.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense.
So that was like the reunion version. I'm not talking about the reboot version.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. He would have been a good mouthpiece for somebody. Like all those, think about those gimmicked evil characters they came up with. Like
He could have been a good mouthpiece for Kevin Thorne.
That's what I was thinking. Mordecai. You know?
Mordecai.
Like,
and the more I think back on that Mordecai gimmick, they could have did something with that. But you know, Mordecai got into a bar fight, so that went up in smoke.
Oh well.
And the story is the title, and Christian Cage is a combustible powder keg ready to explode. And Mitchell is trying to get into it. Basically, it's like are you going to lose your mind and all that stuff? Next up, we get the X Division title match: Samoa Joe, the undefeated Samoa Joe versus Sabu. Like I said, at this point, Joe has gone undefeated since June of the previous year, 10 months to be exact. No limits, hardcore rules, basically. But we're going to dispute that no limits as the match progresses. Joe had beaten everyone, and Larry Zbyszko had to go outside of the X Division to give Joe a particular challenge. This fight was right out of the gate. Sabu whipped out the clutch, shades of his late uncle, the original Sheik. Joe went full steam ahead after getting out, and he clocked that man with a chair. He got clocked with a chair to the skull by Sabu.
Boy. Oh my goodness.
Not even 5 minutes into this match, Sabu already bleeding. I'm like, we finally got blood during this entire pay-per-view. We were literally a few matches in, and we finally got some color.
Oh, you knew what any Sabu match, you already know it wasn't going to take long for that. That guy is never not going to do a match where he doesn't bleed. So, yeah, that was going to happen. You can always count on Sabu, ladies and gentlemen. You want blood? Come get it from Sabu today.
Sabu then eventually brought out a spike and tried to poke out Joe's eye. But Joe, being quick on his feet, switching into an armbar. And Slick Johnson snatched the spike out of Sabu's hand. I guess no limits has limits.
Yeah, he tried to pull a, rest in peace, a New Jack. Pretty much. He tried to pull a New Jack, you know, which is funny because New Jack really kind of learned from Sabu and his uncle. So go figure. You know, but hey.
Hey man. This match felt kind of quick. It was like A to B.
Yeah, it was. If you say not necessarily, I guess you could say maybe took a bathroom break or something, or grab something to eat. You missed it. It was relatively quick and
straight to the point.
I will say the best thing about this is that has always and always will be my favorite version of Samoa Joe. Every version of Samoa Joe is really great because he's great, but that one that was undefeated for that long, that Joe was just something different, bruh. The attitude, he didn't talk, he just came out, kicked your man.
I told you. I told you on the last. I told Suela on the last one. I said this man was so arrogant at this point. He was cutting sexy promos. Like this man was talking about, yeah, Scott Steiner. He was doing the light skin face. He was like, Scott Steiner, I don't take you that serious. I'm like, this man don't get ass no care in the world.
None, bro. That Samoa Joe was savage, and I miss that Samoa Joe so much. Like
it's like I
said, I still love him.
ROH to this version of Joe was peak Joe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everything afterward, it's like after he lost his undefeated streak, and then when he did the whole nation of what he did when he lost his TNA World title, because he went on a nice little undefeated streak with that title too until he lost it. It's like TNA didn't know what to do with this man at all.
No, facts. Yeah, it was the Oscar effect. Same thing with Oscar in WWE. You know, like that undefeated Oscar was different, bro. And since then, it's just been like she's just kind of there. and they don't know how to use her properly or do what they do with her. So like, it's just certain wrestlers, man. Like you said, they peak at a certain point. Joe is always going to be great still. Like I said, I mean, even now when we see him in AEW or, anywhere he goes, he's
he's out
great.
filming now because he's doing he's doing a movie or a TV show for Peacock.
Okay, so
he know his time in the ring is winding down, so he's tipping his head into the acting scene, which is a smart thing. Smart man.
Very smart.
Muscle Buster to pick up the win. Like we said, Joe remains undefeated. He keeps his streak and the X Division title. And this was prior to his match at Slammiversary, which I tell people to go. I'm still telling y'all, go check it out. Slammiversary 2006. Joe versus Scott Steiner. That was Joe was not taking Scott Steiner. He was like, I'm just gonna beat you and I'm just gonna choke you out. And Scott Steiner was like, you have breed bitch. That's all he would just say. He was like, he just hates Samoa Joe. He's like, he hates him because he's a half breed and because he's fat.
Facts. Like, even when he still talks about him, still says that.
Like, he's fat. I'm like, dog, what is your obsession?
What you got against fat people, dog? What your problem is, Scott? Huh? You got a problem against us big belly fools, man? What's going on, my guy? We can love too.
He's fat.
And fabulous. Dad dang it. Shoot. Talk about my precious weight again. God dang it. That's why your arms is flabby. You ain't got them no more. That's what you get. God dang it. That's what you get.
This shit is flabby.
He ain't got it no more. He ain't got the largest arms in the world no more. They large, I ain't large and flabby, god dang it. So take that. That's what you get for talking about us fat folk. God dang it. Oh man. Hey, I'm just cutting the promo on one of the greats, man. You a good one, bro. Hey, Scott, you all right in my book, man. You legendary, but I'm just saying. My God, I'm just saying. Cut the promo on a legend. Gotta love it. Right here on GRESH UNLEASHED, baby. You only here. Oh, shoot.
Next up, we get more propaganda. Backstage interview with Team Canada. Eric Young was his like twitchy self. He was scared of everything.
I kind of want to say that was. I didn't like that Eric Young. I'm not gonna lie. That version I never liked for some reason. He was the comic relief.
He was weird.
Yeah,
he was like always a comic relief, but it felt like this was the worst.
Yeah, that one was always weird. But like when I say comic relief, not quite, because the current one is in today's Impact, he's a lot more serious these days than he's ever been. Oh yeah. And I like that version of what he is today. But back then, when he really hit that comedic point in his peak, it was kind of like, okay, that is an underdog Eric Young we can take. That one was kind of just like, bro, what is this about?
Are you on drugs?
Yeah.
Are you high right now? Basically, this promo was basically pro-America, anti-America. You know, the typical. This was the peak of pro-USA, anti-international, whatever. Next, and that leads into the next match, was an anthem match. Team Canada versus Team 3D. Capture the flag and play the national anthem or something like that. Dudleyville relocated to New York City. Devon had the tits out for this match, the reverse Kurt Angle effect, where he makes his entrance with his shirt straps down and then he raises them up.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What was with the face paint too?
I don't know. Well, I'm like, was that camo, like camouflage face paint? And
I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure they probably suggested it to Devon. He was like, "Bro, look at me,
look at me." Yeah, because I was. This is what I was thinking as I saw this. I'm like, because I was just like, wait a minute.
You thought it was blackface?
No, but it could be portrayed as that today if you look back at it. Because why the black man got nothing on his face. Meanwhile, the two white brothers got to have something.
If I didn't see the black and then the brown and then like the beige, I would have thought it was blackface.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure. Like I did kind of peep, like, okay, they put some color in there, but it was like it still just looked weird.
from a
the
distance.
two white guys. Yeah, like the two white guys with stuff on their face. Meanwhile, Brother Devon over here is like, yeah, bump that. I'm black already. They ain't gonna see me like that.
If I put black face paint on, they're gonna think I'm tanning. Like it ain't gonna work for me. That doesn't work for me, brother.
That don't work, dog. Sorry. Oh boy.
I think during this match you texted me about the MVP diss track.
Oh yeah.
And I just ignored this entire match. I'm like, okay. So I wrote down the ending because I was like, okay, I need to say something about this match. Team 3D got the flag, but the referee was down, so the heels attacked and put the flag back and went on the attack again. Moore brained the gatekeeper with a chair in order to open the door to put a table in the ring. Eric Young went for an elbow through the table on Brother Runt, but he got out of the way. Runt hit the acid drop because I believe they renamed it from the Dudley Dog to the acid drop. And then Team 3D hit the 3D, and now the faces officially grabbed the flags, and now they are going to sing the U.S. national anthem. And I think I wrote, "Oh God, shoot me."
Yeah, you know, I know they're saying wrestling. This is a cheap way to just get baby faces, up there and all that, get them reaction, but. This again was the second some WWE BS type stuff incorporated in my TNA because it was like, bro, this is just the Un-Americans and around this time, the Un-Americans who the Dudleys feuded with and did similar
2 years
things
prior.
Exactly.
2 to 3 years prior, like, bro.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, I did like Team Canada. I did to a degree because of Bobby Roode, mostly. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's
but
the only thing I remember outside of him and Petey Williams. Those are the only two cases I remember.
Yeah, well, I obviously remembered Eric Young, but like I said, I didn't take him serious till he kind of branched off on his own and really got peaked.
It's like unless I was playing the Impact game or looked at this, I would have not remembered him in Team Canada because I'm like, I erased it from my brain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I did like Team Canada. I like the concept. I mean, they were a good stable, but it was just one of those things where anytime they went against somebody, especially in this Dudley Boys aspect or Team 3D, it was the Un-Americans. It was just like, okay, where's Test? Where's Lance Storm? Where's Christian? Oh, okay.
Wayne Regal.
Exactly. Like, yo, this is pretty much the same gimmick.
Where's Christian? Yeah. Oh, he's in the main event.
Yeah, it's like same gimmick, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, I'll pass. Pass.
Then the crowd for some reason was still singing the national anthem while Mike Tenay and Don West were running down the show. Now it's like I just wrote, "Please stop, please shut the up."
Yeah, that's another thing that wouldn't age well to this day, at least to some people.
I bust out laughing though when they said, "Let's marinate in the USA chants," and the crowd was done. They was just quiet, so it was like a big old 5-second pause where nothing was going on. I'm like, y'all didn't time that right
at all, bro, at all.
And then Christy Hemme debuted, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I think this was fresh off her release from WWE, and Don West said he got the April edition of Playboy, and I know that's her for sure. I'm like, okay, Don, you're horny. We get it.
Horny.
I mean, she was looking
sexist.
good. I ain't gonna cap though. She was looking good here.
Oh yeah, that was prime Christy Hemme. So for sure, absolutely. It's
now she has like 6 kids or 12 kids because she had I think she had 4 at once. I'm like, your uterus is huge. Good Lord. I ain't know nobody can hold 4 babies at once. That's how dumb I was. I'm like, good Lord.
Hey,
when I saw her post a picture when she had them a few years back, I'm like, damn. How that happen?
Listen, more power to her. Props to the guy that was able to give her that many.
I think that was her husband, so I'm like, hey, powers to you. But yeah, this is peak Christy Hemme because she was fresh off her WWE run. Remember, she did the whole WrestleMania match with Trish Stratus because Lita got injured. So yeah. So basically, they used her, I guess, her sex appeal to bring out a piece of paper. You know, you got to get the hot chicks in for this, for people to get the sex appeal. TNA management will be undergoing a makeup change. Basically, the road to Jim Cornette's arrival has officially begun because he was going to be the new public figurehead of TNA going forward. Larry Zbyszko was not happy about being put on probation, and Raven was being reinstated. I'm like, oh, you were fired? Okay. That's what I get for not watching the weekly shows. Then we get a backstage interview with NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Christian Cage, but he said nothing. So I guess he's selling that intensity. The next match was basically the co-main event of the evening, which was NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Christian Cage versus the Monster Abyss with Father James Mitchell. They basically took notes from the DDP and Undertaker angle in 2001 when they stalked his wife, Christian Cage's wife. Christian Cage got his ass kicked in his own house, and Abyss tried to drown the man. I'm like,
yeah.
If you don't show up with a gun and shoot this man, disrespecting your house.
Yeah, because you could have took a page out of Brian Pillman's book with that
Pulled
a
out the
little bit,
Glock.
or I mean, he just straight up Triple H, Randy Orton you a little bit. Only thing was missing was throwing you through a window
and a sledgehammer.
Pretty much, I mean,
What did you think about this match? I didn't really take too many notes because I was like, it felt like it was basically Christian got his ass kicked and Christian tackled Abyss on the stage and Christian got a little slippery on the way down, but the brawl went all over the place before they got into the ring. It felt like just a typical big man versus overzealous babyface. Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. I mean, as much as I liked Abyss, mostly his theme song back then,
before
he was always
pre-American made version.
Right. He was pretty much their version of Kane mixed with Mick Foley, like pretty much. So it was one of those things where like it's expected. Abyss could only do so much as a big man. Did
you see how he ran?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
into the corner.
I
was like, why you run like that? Like you run like a Sonic. Like he run like he was a Sonic character. Like he was trying to get the ring.
Exactly. Like it was one of the things. I'm just like, if that doesn't tell you how good Christian is, and pretty much Jeff Hardy and anybody that's ever worked with Abyss over the years, I don't know what does. Cause like Abyss was kind of more of a gimmick guy.
Yeah, I was kind of laughing. I was kind of laughing a lot. I'm like, I don't think this is supposed to be funny, but I cracked the chuckle when this man tried to run. And I'm like, and when he ran like that, I think it just took me out completely because I'm like, I can't take this man serious.
Oh, Joseph Park, you gosh darn son of a gun, you just.
You mean Chris Abyss?
Yeah,
Chris.
That guy,
Abyss. Abyss was in full control for, like I said, it was just literally that type of match. We got a referee bump. Can't be a world title in TNA without a ref bump. And Mitchell picked up the title belt. Christian scaled the cage and hit a beautiful frog splash from the top. Now that got a pop out of me. I'm like, now that's nice. And I like the camera angle they got on it too. But unfortunately, it was a 2. Then the thumbtacks were revealed, so you know how that is. And then Cage hit Abyss with Mitchell's cane at some point. Cage went back to the top, and Abyss threw the referee into the cage to make Christian lose his balance. This referee going through hell at this point.
Pay him more, dang it, before he go on strike.
Again, like the WWF, like come on now.
Yeah,
Cage hit the sunset flip from the cage, and pun intended, from the actual steel cage, and sends Abyss through the tax. So it's like you introduced the tax and got hit with him. You big idiot. Slick Johnson pushed referee Rudy Charles out the way to become the official second referee for this match, and I'm like, that's something. Cage had the belt and was going to strike Abyss, but Abyss caught him into the black hole slam. I give Abyss that his black hole slam is actually pretty precise. I give him that.
Yeah, that was always one of my favorite finishers from back then too. That black hole slam hit different.
Yeah,
That thing.
and it's also credit to whoever sells it too, because it's like when he hits it on lighter guys, they literally go swinging
Oh yeah,
to the
yeah.
point where I be thinking he about to lose his grip. That's how much body weight they be doing. I'm like, they literally make it look like a black hole.
Agreed.
Just
Yeah,
swinging.
yeah. Between that and my favorite two TNA finishers of all time for sure was always Black Hole Slam from Abyss and Monty Brown's Pounce, and the fact that just people just
Pounce!
pow! You know what I'm saying? Like
Every time I see Keith Lee, who else does a pounce that I know of?
I know Sienna used to do it. She doesn't. I don't think she does it anymore, but she used to do it.
I know Keith Lee does the pounce, and he does it beautifully. And especially when he likes to eat people. Who else? I feel like I've seen somebody else recently do a pounce.
There's a couple of people.
I think it was some people in WWE too. It's somebody that does a pounce, and it could be Wardlow too, because I think he did it to MJF at one point, or Sean Spears. So he did it to somebody.
I think Will Hobbs does it.
Will Hobbs, that's who it is. I'm like, it's somebody. It was a big man.
Yeah,
I love it when the brothers pay tribute to Monty Brown.
agreed, man.
How much money do we need to get Monty Brown back in the wrestling?
I'm telling you, man, because I really miss that guy. He had the whole package, man. He had the look, the charisma, everything, bro. Like
It's ironic. I was introduced to him as Marcus Corbin.
Yeah, see, I knew about him before then, so it was like when he got to WWE, I was like, oh, my guy's in WWE? What?
And then I went in reverse, and I'm like, well, why wasn't this in ECW? But of course, LOL, WWE don't know how to book black people. It is what it is. We went, like I said, I got some little notes here. Biss was going for the choke slam into the second bag attacks because Mitchell just had to have more attacks. But Christian reversed it into an unprettier into the attacks for the pin and to retain the title. Like I said, the beginning of the match was solid. I just checked out when Abyss started running like a goofball. I was like, okay, I can't take this fool serious at all.
Yeah,
Christian now wants Mitchell, but Abyss came back and took care of him before getting the chain and cracking Christian in the dome. Then Abyss then wrapped the chain around Christian's neck to hang him off the rope. Christian retained, and Abyss got his heat back. You know, they had to continue the story, I guess. It's going to be so James Mitchell placed the title across Abyss's shoulders, and now they walk out with the belt to continue the feud.
Yeah, basically tried to kill that man.
Yeah.
So
you know how it is. Next up, we get a final backstage interview of the evening. Is with Team Sting. It was a typical babyface promo hype type style from everyone, with Sting coming out and saying, "It's showtime, folks." So we get Lethal Lockdown as your main event of the evening. Sting's Warriors versus Jeff Jarrett's Army. Sting's Warriors consists of Sting, Rhino, AJ Styles, and Run the Truth Killings, who, by the way, has been having the What's Up theme for the better part of almost 20 years.
Yeah. To anybody that didn't know that, yes, that was his TNA theme first that he made, obviously, being an artist. And it carried over. At that time, I remember when he brought that to WWE, that's where I was shocked until it hit me like, oh, duh. He can do that. Like, it's him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was when I was still learning about leasing rights and all that, because I was a young buck. So it was like, like, wait, how can he bring that? And then I'm like, oh. The one thing that gets me, though, is I just never could understand why Jeff Hardy never brought Modest to WWE then, because that was his song.
That might be a WWE thing.
I guess so, because I was always trying to figure that out. I was like, he literally made that song. Why couldn't he ever come out to it?
But knowing TNA, when he came, it was like every theme music he had was him. Modest, Another Me, Resurrected, One More Shot. It's like so many. And then whatever he did during the TNA, GFW, whatever the transition, like his later years, like everything was him.
Yeah. And see, that was before No More Words, because like I said, that didn't come till he came back. So it was like,
and it wasn't even when he came back. It was like 2008.
Yeah.
I remember when he came back, it was the Loaded. version.
It was, yeah.
And then he finally switched to No More Words, I guess, when they was trying to give him this big solo push before he, drugs and stuff.
Weird.
Yeah. So yeah, R-Truth. I'm like, bro, this dude, the first ever black NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Versus Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, Chris Harris, and James Storm, America's Most Wanted. And we'll come to the ring by Gail, Kim, and Jackie.
More sex
appeal.
That was what made me love Gail Kim so much. America's Most Wanted really made me love Gail Kim back then.
I don't know what it was. I'm like, bro, that's I was like, that is a gorgeous woman.
that woman could get it back then from those days, because that was AWA. I was like, yo, they were my favorite tag team just because they had her. I was like, shoot, she came out there with a whole routine for them, boy. I was like, gee, man, they care, boy. Okay.
Jarrett's team has the advantage of this one. One member of each team will compete for 5 minutes, and every member will enter at 2 minutes intervals. Once all members are in, the lethal lockdown cage can begin. This was basically their version of War Games from WCW that obviously NXT adopted, or you could say for the modern fans, Blood and Guts from AEW.
True.
But it was in one cage. It wasn't 2 cages. It was the same rules.
Yeah,
basically.
And another one of those that are just ahead of its time in its own way. I mean, outside of the War Games part, because that does go to like the classic WCW days, but
yeah,
that was definitely ahead of its time, because you likely won't ever see something like that again in terms of weapons.
Yeah,
hanging like that. Yeah,
they just bring it in now. Like they don't even hang no more. They just go into the ring. Get your weapons on in the ring before you enter the cage. That's all you gotta do.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because if you try to escape the cage once the cage is locked, then you forfeit. So they say get your weapons before you walk in if you want to attack people. You know how that is. I wouldn't be surprised if NXT retires War Games, because the reason why the first few worked was because they had indie wrestlers that knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But since they done phased out the indie wrestlers from 2.0, it's like heavily. I don't think they can. They got too many people who are not trained. You see what I'm saying?
Somebody's gonna get badly injured if they try to keep doing that with this green talent.
Yeah. I watch NXT 2.0, but it's like it's just something to watch at this point, to the point where I just get out of that habit, because it's not a bad show, but it's slowly not being for me anymore. So to start off the match, AJ Styles and Chris Harris started for their respective teams. The crowd was chanting "Pussycat" towards Chris Harris.
That guy could never catch a break back then, man. Poor Chris Harris. Oh my lord. Oh my gosh. I remember when he turned on James Storm and they like broke up AWA. That guy just couldn't get over. AEW, sorry. Botch moment. I remember they tried to take him seriously as a heel. And that just fizzled. And I'm just like, it was kind of equivalent to like
and then Big Cass. Brandon Walker.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Big Cass when they broke up him and Enzo. It was just like, okay. Why?
That falls more on WWE, because they don't know how to book big men. Like every big man is booked the same. Great Khali, Omos, Big Cass. Everybody's booked the same. You got to be big and you got to be slow. That's the reason why they didn't know how to book Keith Lee. They want him to be a big, methodical wrestler. I'm like, bro, he's not that. Just let him throw people. Just let him yeet people. That's literally it.
That's it. That's all you gotta do. Look glorious in the process.
if we run a show and we book Keith Lee with FPW, all we gotta do is like, bro, how many people you want to eat? You want to eat 2 people or 3 people? I want to eat them all. All right, go ahead, big man. You got it.
We're basking in the glory.
That's it. Gail Kim was hyping up Chris Harris at one point, and AJ shouted, "Shut up, hooker!" I'm like,
Another thing from that time frame that would never age well. Not today. Nope, not today.
Okay, and then the crowd chanted, "You got served," and I'm like, That chant is very 2006. Because didn't You Got Served just come out that year?
It didn't just come out, but it
Or
had
was it
been
the year
out
before?
around that time. It was like that was more like 2004 when that was
2004,
out. So that's 2
Okay.
years removed. So it was
You
a
got served.
term.
You got served. You got. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, good luck trying to chant that into 2022.
They gonna look at you like, who? How old are you? You telling your age if you say that now. Come on now.
Facts.
We got a solid back
boy.
and forth between the two until Cowboy James Storm was out next to even the odds for Team Jarrett. AJ drop kicked the door, but he didn't hit Storm. He hit Gail. And she was taking bumps. She was taking bumps at this point. I'm like, this woman right here. How WWE don't know how to book her, but you know how that is.
Yeah.
She's not a blonde or plastic, so you know they didn't know how to book her. Rhino ran in to even odds for Team Sting. Jarrett is out next for his team, and Rhino and AJ won't even let that man get in the cage and went 2-on-1 on Jeff Jarrett. Then the Truth came out to even the field up to make it 3-for-3 for the Sting's Warriors, and then we got a Tower of Doom spot with AJ getting the brunt of the impact. I feel like this was one of the first few times that we saw a Tower of Doom. Now it seemed like now everybody does it in multi-man matches.
Facts.
But this is one of the very first time that we saw it.
AJ, man, ahead of his time. Gotta love it. Still doing it. Crazy.
The final member of Team Jarrett was Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, and this was his official in-ring debut for TNA. After Team Jarrett destroyed most of the opposition, you know how they do with the heels building up heat for the final babyface to enter the fray, which was the Icon Sting, and he took everyone out before the Roof Lord stacked all of Team Jarrett up in the corner to hit Stinger Splash. I'm like, what is this shit? That's like, what is this? What is this?
What is this?
This is 1980s gimmicky. Like, come on now, y'all could just move. Literally, it's one man against four of you, and you can't get out. We finally got the Roof Lord. You know how they was doing the pyro in the roof and all that stuff when they lowered. I'm like, bro, does the sparklers hurt?
Mm-hmm.
That's how.
Oh, they definitely do. You know they do. Because
why would y'all do it while I'm on the mat? Come on, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Remember, everybody ain't Goldberg, and Goldberg took that on a weekly basis. So
I don't know how
he admitted that hurt. So you know. Yeah,
I know. I did see when they started sparking, someone rolled out to the corner. They said, well, "Bump this cell, ain't gonna get burnt." No, he just rolled out the way. He's like, "Nope." I don't know. And I think after this or the year after, I think they stopped doing the pyro party. They just started flashing the lights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, smart man. That was a real Josh Gresh move that wrestler did. Nope. Not doing it. That wasn't truth. You sure it wasn't truth? Was that true?
It probably was true because he probably like, I'm black as hell already. Like you know,
that was probably true. Yeah,
you're not about to burn me. Like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this today. No.
Nope.
So the babyface lit up the heels with weapons. I saw kendo sticks, trash can lids, baseball bats, and of course Jarrett's guitars and all that good stuff. AJ Styles and James Storm said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do some stupid stuff." They climbed on top of the roof with a table and a ladder. I'm like, "Yep, somebody's gonna take a bump." Gail Kim then started climbing until Styles stood on her fingers, and then Jackie for some reason pants Gail Kim, and I'm like, why?
2006 sex appeal reels its head again.
I mean, I wasn't complaining too much, but at the same time, I'm like, why? It's like I was like, ooh, for like a split second, and I was like, okay. That lasted on for about 3 seconds. Because it went from ooh to like feeling embarrassed. I'm like,
so it was ejaculating moment, is what you're saying. It was like it was out. It was like
ooh.
Done.
It's like, you know how you get up and be like, ooh, and then you be like, ooh, why? why? Come on, dog. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, this version of Gail Kim, I mean, she a MILF now, with all due respect. But back then,
boy,
I told y'all, Asians got a soft place in my heart. I love my sisters,
Technically Canadian, but I get what you get. I get what you meant by that.
Yeah, either or. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Canadian, Korean, Asian, Mexican, Latina,
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian. Oh my god. Cause yo, oh my good god.
All there.
All day. I love my sisters. Don't get me wrong. I love the black queens, but if you're an island girl, you can get it. Yeah, they used that to get rid of Gail Kim because we didn't see her for the rest of the match. Sting and Jarrett had a guitar off for a moment until Sting brought out the bat and broke Jarrett's before he teased hitting Jeff with the bat. You know, the whole babyface teasing to finally get the heat, and then Scott Steiner said, hey, "Yeah, enough of that." Hit him in the nutskis with the low blow. And Jarrett finally hit him with the guitar. So, you know, I'm like, oh, they finna end it? Nope. They say we got to get to the next spot. So on the roof, AJ climbed the ladder and scaled the rigging on the roof. How I know that it was rigging? Because I deal with riggers on the daily basis. And he hit a splash on Storm through a table. The crowd went in insane. And I'm like, yeah, that was a kind of awesome, though. That splash. Because it's something about when AJ hits a splash at this point, he was always, it felt different.
Yeah, short hair, no beard, young AJ Styles, much like undefeated Samoa Joe, man. That AJ is different, man. He just ahead of his time, innovative, and doing things that, well, pretty much every wrestler is mimicking nowadays. So, yeah.
Literally. As the match get back into the ring, Jarrett hit the stroke on Truth into the chair, and then Rhino hit a Gore literally out of frame. Like, they didn't even catch the Gore. It was literally, oh, Jarrett's down. I'm like, what just happened? Gore. Then Steiner took out Rhino and locked in the recliner before Sting laid him out with the Scorpion Death Drop, and then the ending came when Harris hit Sting with a loaded fist with the knuckles, and until he locked in the Scorpion Deathlock, but then obviously Sting reversed and Harris tapped out, giving the win to Sting's Warriors. That was a solid Lethal Lockdown. Like I say, I've seen better as the match. I guess as the years progressed and they included different people, and they didn't even give the crowd time to cheer. They was like, "Oh, we out of time, gotta go. See you for Sacrifice," and fade to black. Overall thoughts of this pay-per-view?
Not bad. Some of those WWE moments I could have did without, obviously, to make this pay-per-view better. That takes it down because that obviously didn't age well. But the matches did. Most of the matches did age well still, aside from the fact that most of those movesets are pretty much just regular movesets now that were finishers back then. It's kind of like when you look at the Attitude Era and you're like, dang, that was a finisher? That ain't even a finisher no more. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a wrist lock.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the evolution factor of it makes you say, you know, it may look average or regular when you look back at it, but it was a solid pay-per-view for what it was. Still carries a fray in my heart for sure.
For certain aspects, like certain bits and pieces.
Oh, yeah.
So my overall rating for it would be a simple C+. Like, I would give it a C+ because it was a lot more. It was a mixture of pros and cons. Like, the pros was solid. The X Division matches, like, it was literally 3 X Division matches, and all of it delivered. You had a solid Lethal Lockdown, but then, like I said, the WWE-isms and the jokes for its time, the borderline racism in that arm wrestling match, I'm like, I could deal without. And then the propaganda with Team USA versus Team whatever international, anti-WWE, anti-un-American or whatever. I'm like, I've seen literally they still do it to this day at in some way, shape, or form. So it's like I can go without it. I don't. And this is coming from an American. I could do without it.
Agreed.
I can do without it. But overall, TNA Lockdown 2006 was a solid pay-per-view. Like I said, C+. And that concludes our TNA Lockdown 2006 retro review. Whoa! Like Sting said. That was with that woo.
Oh, I was doing a fake one. I wasn't trying to do it for real. I could do it, but you know,
Before we get into AEW Dynamite, did you catch anything WWE related this week? I like I said, I've been phasing it out, but
Let me see. I did watch Raw, kinda.
we're
I
gonna we're
don't
gonna
want.
I'm gonna get your thoughts on certain things. But Cody Rhodes, he is injured.
Yeah.
He legitimately wrestled with a torn pectoral muscle.
hmm Yeah, pretty brutal, man. In terms of the overall look of it, you know what I'm saying?
It was done. It was I was and like while it was gone, I was literally like, bro, why is this match happening?
Yeah. Well, essentially, when you look at that, is when you think about it, he can't do any worse to it than he already did.
I
Um,
believe somebody actually did like put this picture on Reddit, and the actual legit doctor reacted to it. They said once it's torn off the bone, you can't do anything else to it,
yeah,
but get surgery. It's like at this point, it's like you can literally like just keep it like that. Obviously, you
yeah,
can't keep it that long because it'll get infected, but it
yeah,
like it's nothing else you can do. It's like you just he it's like he could have been like, no, I'm hurt. I don't want to do it, but he did it legitimately. And
yeah.
it was the one of the few times where felt invested. I'm like, bro, this feels like a baby face.
hmm
Like I'm like, bro, please don't hurt yourself.
No, yeah.
My
Go ahead.
no, somebody, my entire thoughts on this entire match. I'm like, bro, the entire pay per view. I had low expectations. I didn't even plan on watching it,
hmm
but I watched it. I'm like, I'll see what it's about. It was actually a solid show. Was it the
Yeah,
best? Nah, but it was a solid show.
yeah, pretty solid. I really enjoyed. Despite how people felt about the feud, Madcap Moss, which I hope they changed the name a little
That
bit too.
match threw me off for
Yeah,
in a good way.
that was real physical. Hopefully with Madcap they're still evolving because I'm gonna tell you, I'm getting young John Cena vibes from him right now. Like his stock is really rising. I just hope they can get him a right look that fits him. Not the generic look they got right now. Like give him
or
some
or
personality
the
in the
hoochie
look.
daddy shorts that he had at first.
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe if he's down with it, cut his hair a little bit. Give him some type of the trunks can work. Just probably put a design to them that works, and figure out the gimmick. Like if you want him to still tell jokes, do it in a way where it's like I'm about to kill you, but I'm gonna tell this joke on it. Like
What you think
I
about?
don't
No,
want to say
I think they're fading out the jokes bit. He's not really doing
they.
it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he got a catchphrase already when he said at the end. He's like, "Think I'm funny now?" or something like that. Who's laughing now or something like that. Like,
I think yeah, I'm pretty. I wouldn't be surprised if they fade that out for after this Corbin feud.
yeah, we could. We'll see. They're tweaking it, so we're gonna see how it evolves from here. But they got something with that. And shout out to Corbin. I mean, say how regardless how you feel about the guy, I
Honestly,
respect him.
the more it's like I still am a fan of the lone wolf gimmick,
Me too. Me too.
but it's like in ring he does what he needs to do. Like I can't fault the guy for doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, yeah. Like people knock him too much, but he really is doing a great job. Whether it's putting someone over or just doing what he needs to do. So props to Corbin. But the Hell in a Cell was pretty solid.
What
The
you
Hell
think
in a
about
Cell match.
what you think about the triple threat?
You know what? The triple threat was cool. I'm wondering, based off that outcome, if they're planting seeds toward a heel Bianca.
I've been begging for her for months. Her
I'm hoping.
her EST gimmick, as much as I appreciate it, doesn't
hmm
really scream 100% babyface to me. I feel like when she said I'm the roughest, I'm the toughest, I'm the best,
hmm
it screams like I'm better than you, and you know it. Hint, hint.
True. The only thing is, it does fit her better as a heel. But then with the heel also comes heel antics of playing scared as someone who's the EST. She
Well,
didn't do that in NXT, but we know if
how
she goes heel
WWE
in
does with heels,
WWE,
they want
they're
her to
gonna
play
have her
the.
playing like chicken-ish a little bit, like, yeah, I'm the EST, but then when somebody ready ain't scared of you and ready to take you on, you backing up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like those are
Hey,
the type of things I'm a
hey
little nervous about.
Vince, if you turn her heel, don't do that.
Yeah, don't. You got to make it to where she literally is everything she was as babyface, just 10 times edgier. You know what I'm saying? So
And
like,
she's more of an asshole.
yeah, you know what I
Lean into
mean.
the
So
assholeness, not the cowardness. You already
yeah,
do that with Seth Rollins. You already do that with Becky Lynch. It's
hmm
like we don't need every heel to be a coward. Come on now. And
yeah.
sometimes it annoys me with Roman. You preach this God mode in mentality, but when someone steps up to you, you
Oh
back up and you back off. I'm
yeah,
like that's the only critique I have about this tribal chief gimmick.
I do agree. I hate that they've been doing that a lot more than usual because when he first started that, man, he had no problem letting you know what he was going to do and actually doing it. There was no backing down. You know what I'm saying? Even when the babyface got offense on him.
I don't know if that was just the pros of the Thunderdome because they didn't have a crowd to play up to. But now that they have a
Yeah.
crowd to play up to, they feel like this need to like try to let you know, like, hey, he's a heel, he's a coward. Whereas this is a babyface. They're gonna overcome. They have this obsession with trying to get someone to be a babyface or a coward or heel. Like everybody don't need to be a coward.
Oh yeah.
Do what you did with Drew McIntyre when he was a heel. When they was building him up in I think it was 2018
hmm
when he punked out Ricochet that one time.
Yeah.
He wasn't running. He was literally headbutting people. He was headbutting fools left
Mhm.
and right. So I'm like, he wasn't running. Do that with your heels.
Facts. I agree,
Now,
man.
what you think about the Judgment Day versus 6-man tag?
Match was good, but I still have a hard time getting into that stable, man.
What is
Now,
do you think is or like Edge is saying they're not supernatural, but I feel like they're trying to lean into that supernatural.
and that's the part that's making me so confused because I'm trying to really buy into it, but I'm like, what exactly is
It's
this?
just
Like,
Edge saying big words.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, honestly, thank God for they got me with the swerve on Monday
They got
of
me
the.
too. I'm like, yo,
I
this
was
is the
like,
first like, oh, okay. And
yeah, I was
we're
like,
gonna get to it too.
yeah, I did not expect that, but I mean, I'm kind of happy about it because Edge did seem like he was bringing it down a little bit, even though he was
Because
trying to elevate it.
he was just talking. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Part of the time when he was
Yeah,
talking, it's like I understand heels being heels, like, oh, I'm better than you, but I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Give me a point A and a
yeah,
point B. It sounds like you start off with point A and then you go into gibberish, and then you try to go to point, you try to bring it back to point
yeah,
B, and I'm like, I'm confused with like go back to point A again because I need better context. And then when I watch it back, I'm like, I still don't get it. So whatever.
yeah. I couldn't get it because normally Edge is more passionate than that when he's a heel. He can do it as a babyface too, but normally as a heel, he's a little bit more passionate and can actually make you feel what he's saying. But I couldn't get that with this faction, and I'm still just like, even now with this new direction, it's like, okay, well, I still need to know where y'all going with this because I just need to know, am I supposed to be into this or not? Like, you know what I mean? But we're gonna see. Hopefully, in this new direction, it goes somewhere.
Hey man, I am. Oh man, I'm trying.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too, bro.
I'm trying. I try to get it as much as possible, but I'm like, it's not working at all. But hey, long as it makes sense, that's all I'll say. Like,
hmm
make it make sense, and then I'll be Gucci. But yeah. And then now with the Hell in a Cell, what was your thoughts on the Hell in a Cell match? Like from context, now that you know that Cody was working injured.
It was a cool match, but I'm not gonna lie. I really thought the outcome was gonna be a lot different. I really assumed
Oh, you weren't
Seth
expecting
was gonna win.
a 3-0.
I was up until the injury part of things. When that injury happened and it was like legit, I really expected, okay, Seth's got to go over because
Mm-hmm.
one, he's injured. You know he's not going to be on TV, so it won't hurt Cody to lose. You'll forget about that months down the line. And, as I heard some people on Wrestling Inc. talk about, like, you missed a really good opportunity to just build that feud. Even though we saw what he did on Monday Night Raw, you still missed an opportunity where Seth could have went over. And by the time Cody got back, that would have been a nice middle of the road feud to finish before WrestleMania to do whatever you're going to do with Roman
I
or something.
think I understand that, but then I also think it doesn't hurt Seth at all. because he's still over.
True.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I think I look at it like this: WWE isn't really a place where they care too much about winning and losing anyway. If they want
True.
you to care about somebody, they're gonna want you to care about somebody, whether they are losers or not. Remember Kurt Hawkins?
True.
Like
Hey,
he was literally a loser, and they just said, okay, how about we just turn this into a gimmick and just go crazy with it. That's literally
and then he won a
what they did.
match.
And then he won a match against the Revival at WrestleMania, and he finally won. And then they was like, "Oh, we don't know what else to do with you."
Yeah, but I mean, and I agree. You know, there's that aspect. What I really enjoyed most was Seth and the mind games he did, just like he did with Roman coming out in Shield gear. Seth needs to keep doing that,
With the polka dots.
Not even just that, just whoever your opponent is, keep doing that.
I'm surprised he didn't come out dressed as. I'm surprised he didn't come out dressed as Gangrel when he was feuding with Edge.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do those type of things. You know what I mean?
The Joker.
Like,
embrace it.
Yeah, like his next opponent, he needs to definitely do that. Like, pull something from the past. If it's somebody with enough gimmicks, history, all that.
But that's the thing. A lot of these people don't have that depth. Everybody feels like they're starting fresh. Nobody has depth on the main roster. They don't like to tell you about the history.
True.
The reason why it worked with Roman was because they have history. The reason why I worked with Cody is because his whole gimmick is I'm rebuilding my family legacy in the WWE. I'm shedding the disrespect, the gimmick, the stardust, and all that stuff, and I'm rebuilding it to be the best in the world. And that means being world champion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's like, oh, okay, cool. But so it's like, I think it's just up to Seth Rollins being a dick to everybody else. And if they do have history, then he can just tap into it. So in a way, it's a good thing because you don't have to oversaturate that trick. So it's like, because you know how WWE likes to shove everything down your throat. Because once they find something that works, they'll just keep doing it until it's like, oh, okay. They don't want it to be special no more. This will be special. Seth Rollins playing mind games. So I'm cool with that. But what are your thoughts on that attack that you mentioned? We're gonna move on to Raw.
Something that I really wish they would have done literally at Hell in a Cell. But I mean, it makes sense, I guess, to carry the story into Raw, because what else were they going to open the show with, right? So I'm not mad at it. I'm just glad they did do that, because I figured they were going to have to write him off TV some kind of way with that injury. And, you know, what better way to do it than there, I guess. As long as they did it.
Do you think they're building up for Cody to make a triumphant return at the Royal Rumble to challenge the champion at WrestleMania?
For sure. And I think they're going to try to do that Edge Jericho angle where, like, Seth is in the Rumble. He's probably got a later number or something. Looks like a favorite to win it. And then out comes Mr. Cody.
Wrestling has more than one royal family. Like, you know how they gonna make it a big old, it gonna be the return of all the million pyro explosions that this man gonna have. And that's before he wins the Royal Rumble, and they gonna have to do more pyro. They're gonna blow the pyro budget with this man.
Absolutely.
When he comes back there at WrestleMania, like, it's not even. But this is one of those matches where I was like, in a way, I kind of wish Cody didn't do it, but at the same time, I respect the hell out of him because he didn't have to do it. And I know I gave him crap for his AEW run, like the last few months of his AEW run. I'm like, bro, just turn heel already. But I'm like, WWE so far has been building him right. Like, he doesn't look like he's just gonna be a joke. Like, they're legit serious about their investment.
Agreed. We'll see how it gets when he comes back from injury, because we know there's history in that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do anything, because with him injured, Roman being part-time, they don't really have that many people that's interesting in the WWE right now. Seth Rollins, sure. Becky Lynch, sure. Bianca, sure. The Judgment Day, now that Edge is gone, sure. Spoiler alert, he's gone. And we're going to talk about that. Edge, Rhea Ripley in them short shorts. Good Lord. Damian Priest, the Judgment Day I like how they've been teasing at his punishment era. He's the punishment of the Judgment Day. Punishment Martinez.
Yeah, that's a good tribute
And
for sure.
we have our newest member, Finn Balor. This is the turn we were talking about. What are your thoughts on this?
Definitely weird in how things were going because my mind automatically thought, I'm pretty sure you might have been similar, thinking like, oh, Finn, how underwhelming. That's going to be a swerve of some sorts in a way of like a swerve I quote unquote don't see coming. Yeah, you know, like, oh, he's going to join, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes, beats up Finn, and they're the real member, right? But no. They read that, and I was like, oh, they kicked their job. Wow. You know, it was just like
he started it, and I'm like,
yeah. Like
and I like that line. I like that line that Damian Priest said. He said, "You led us into the darkness." So he basically created these monsters. And the monster, and I think it was either Corey Graves or Byron Saxton, more like a Corey Graves. He said the monsters have turned on Frankenstein, or it was like Frankenstein turned on his creator, or something like that. They said that slick line. I'm like, yeah, you created this.
Agreed, man. Interested to see where it goes from here. We know that if it's anything like the Finn we saw in NXT as a somewhat heel, I guess a tweener, or I mean, he started off full blown heel and then kind of got tweenerish. But if it's anything like that, Finn, then we're in for a nice ride. But I still think there's another piece of the puzzle that will come because let's be honest, neither one of these three are good on the mic. So they're still going to need somebody that's really good on the mic. Whether that's a strict managerial mouthpiece or
who would you see being a man? Because there's not that many people who can talk.
Man, that's where it gets so difficult.
You probably think they should have kept Edge.
Real talk. Hey, you know what's funny? We talked about Father James Mitchell. He would have been perfect for that. Personally, from earlier. Yeah. But since that's clearly not going to happen, can't use Paul Heyman. That gimmick's all the way done right now. You know, that would just clash. So, I don't know. You got to see who you can pull, man. I mean, it's somebody.
And we got to see how they sound because Damian Priest isn't bad.
He's not, but he's nervous.
But he cannot be long-winded. He has to be straight to the point. Rhea Ripley,
her accent's getting in the way. You can understand her. Yeah, like we know when you have an accent, it doesn't translate well.
Because Finn in NXT, when he turned heel, I don't watch the business watches me. I'm like, that's believable. But then when he extended, I'm like, what are you saying, sir? And that's not disrespect to your accent. That's not disrespect to you. Your English is literally your accent is just thick.
Yeah,
same with Becky. Your accent is thick. You can be good at a promo, but your accent is just be like, okay.
Yeah.
But hey, we might be surprised. One of them might just step up and be like, yo, okay, this might work. Or WWE it might. Because I'm be honest with you, Undertaker wasn't really a promo guy.
No, not
really. We're leaning into the supernatural thing. So, and they're not. And
wait, now that I think about it, if there is a real leader that they announced, there is a guy that's been away for a long while, and we know he ain't gonna be in AEW anytime soon.
You talking about Wyndham?
Hey man. Perfect talker, if you ask me.
Do you think Wyndham will return to WWE if they give him the right creator?
If he would have the ball in his court for sure, and if he can make it to where it's like, okay, I'm in control of my promos, I'm in control of all these things, while also just
you just give me an outline to as far as I can go, but then let me go from here.
Yeah, like whatever it is, however he can negotiate it.
Stuff, like just let me like, hey, I understand y'all got a corporation, but let me go from here.
Yeah, man, because he makes the perfect kind of leader for something like that. It's different from anything the Wyatt family ever was, and
You don't have to
He
limit
just-
him to the Fiend anymore.
He really don't. Like, he's got the perfect balance. He can come up with some type of new gimmick that doesn't resemble either one of those two and fits what this is to make us say, oh, that's Judgment Day.
So
Right?
basically, you're saying is, because let's be real, a lot of people in WWE right now can't cut promos to save their life, and we're not trying to get Alexa Bliss back into the dark side because I don't even think they know what they want to do with her.
No, they don't. They've remixed her theme, and she still has that darn doll. I don't know.
No,
what
they
she
didn't
is.
remix it. She got a whole new theme.
Yeah, it's remixed because it starts off like her original.
No, I can tell you don't watch the show. No,
that's the start of her original theme, bro.
I'm telling you, they gave her a whole new theme, literally 2 weeks ago. You're thinking about
the theme I heard. I still heard that dun-it, and then it just turned into something new.
I'm trying to tell you something right now. It is they ditched that whole remix. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's gone. That's done.
I still heard it, bro.
No,
it ain't that gone. I still heard it.
It's gone. Bro. I am not
pull that back up.
You can pull it up, bro. You can pull up the last episode. It's literally, it starts off, stand up, shout it out. It's literally a whole new. It's literally Nikki Cross's old theme song. You remember that theme song she had that didn't fit her at all? Well, it was just like a country singer. That's Alexa Bliss's new theme song right now. I'm trying to tell you. It started off with the original, and then they remixed into the evil version. They completely ditched that. It's gone. It's done.
True. And I heard the standout with the lyrics, but I also still heard that Dunna in there before they played.
I'm trying to tell you, they retweaked it again, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Not from this past Monday. I sat there and watched that, bro. I heard that. I was like,
trash. I don't care how it is. It's still trash.
It is. No, it is. It doesn't fit. I'm just like, yo, either give her the goddess thing. I don't know. I mean, they're just they
don't know what she's doing. They don't know what they want with her. It's literally, she's just literally there. They have
you can see the frustration from when she admitted openly that she's frustrated and creative. A lot of those guys and girls that are frustrated, you can see it now. Like, it's like, yeah, I can see why you're frustrated. Like, it's crazy, man. It is crazy.
But
Montez.
They had to do the whole championship contenders match. I don't understand that stuff to this day.
Tell you, man.
It's like, just put the titles on the line. When I saw that, I was like, bro, just put the titles on the line. It's literally not that hard. And then they're obviously teasing Bobby Lashley versus the world champion. Speaking of Roman Reigns, bro, what's up? What's your thoughts on this? He's basically off the show for 2 more pay-per-views. He's not gonna be at Money in the Bank. He's not gonna be. Yeah, he's not gonna be anywhere near TV for a good minute.
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
They unified all the titles, but it's like they have no direction.
Hey, man, that's their fault the way I see it. Because the Usos are kind of just even getting a little stale now, even with having both titles. Without Roman, it doesn't fit as much. They're trying to carry it, but it's kind of like...
and it kind of proves that it's like, even if you unify the titles, they literally have no division on either show. Riddle and Nakamura, Riddle and Randy lost the titles, and then now they have him teaming up with Nakamura. It's like, it feels like they're teasing Roman versus Riddle, Roman versus Bobby, Roman versus Cody whenever he's cleared. And it's like, but you need Roman. And he's going to be gone. He's no longer advertised for Money in the Bank. And I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be, I'm pretty sure his next match won't be until that Newcastle show, which is in September. So that leaves SummerSlam. Do he put the title on the line, or do they just have no championship defended at your biggest show in the summer?
Probably no title defended. This is sad, but Captain Cena's back, so
Yeah, John
That's
Cena will be back
accurate.
on June 27th. So, they got to tip into the nostalgia. And that's one nostalgia I ain't really mad at because John Cena is kind of cool. So, I can't really hate it.
We'll see how it plays out.
All right, let's talk about AEW Dynamite, the fallout from CM Punk being injured. What are your thoughts on that?
Stupid.
You know exactly how he got injured, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. I didn't see it, heard about it, realized, well, yeah, that was smart. Probably won't be doing that one again.
He did a legit dive from the stage, and then you did all for a stage dive. For what though? It was cool when you came back. When you was on level ground, you literally died from a stage to the railing that was like this. This is the stage right here, and then you got the ramp that was right here at a whole different level. It was literally like, come on, dog.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Can't tell you. that just homie should have just thought a little extra about that. You're not young Punk anymore, my guy. Like the body
No,
don't work the same.
it doesn't even, that's not even age. It's like literally, bro, the distance, common sense.
Age plays to some part to it because Montez Ford could do that with no problem, I'm sure. But in Punk's case,
nah, Montez Ford probably would do it with no sure, but I'm pretty sure he won't do it because he's not dumb.
Hey, man, I don't know. Either way, kind of sucks for Punk, bro. Shouldn't have done that, man. As the champion, my guy.
Now we got a whole interim world champion being crowned. I'm not really a fan of it personally, but what can you do? Because it's wrestling. It's not MMA. It's wrestling. You can just strip him of the title and give him a rematch when he comes back. But it is what it is. I guess they want to build to a big fun match, as Tony Khan says. Little Mark. We started off the show with a casino battle royal because the winner of tonight's battle royal faces John Mosley to determine who will go on to face the winner of the June 12th New Japan Pro Wrestling Eliminator, which is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Hiroku Goto. So it's the same guy that we talked about earlier on TNA in 2006. He is still wrestling for the interim AEW World Championship on June 26th at the Forbidden Door live on pay-per-view. We had Darby Allin, Tony Nese, Daniel Garcia, Lance Archer, and Eddie Kingston. They were the first group of entrants. Did you even catch this battle royal?
I did.
No, that's her catchphrase now. Cut the shit. But how good is Big Stoke, man?
Phenomenal, man. Shoot. What can he do to put someone over, man?
That man mentioned Keith Sweat. We haven't heard of Keith Sweat mentioned in the 3 years of AEW until this man showed up.
What's that big-headed girl from outer space? Like,
Kristen Highlander. When he said that, all I could respond with was, "Damn."
Yeah. That's going to get better and better every week, people. Better and better every week.
Malcolm Bivens, Stokely Hathaway. Oh, my God.
I would take it.
And obviously in the main event, after that, we got the main event, which was John Mosley defeating Kyle O'Reilly. What you think about that main event?
Expected. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, physicality is always something for sure. You expected that as well. But outcome-wise, it was just a matter of, all right, on the Forbidden Door. From Moxley to win the title inevitably and, I guess, have a crossover with Punk.
So you think they're building to a John Moxley versus CM Punk? Or do you think they're going to... Well, I would say, what was the reason of making it? Do you think they're going to put the title on Hiroshi Tanahashi or go to?
He definitely... I just don't see them giving it to a New Japan guy. I mean,
What
I
it's
guess they
like?
could.
What would be the point if they're not going to stick around to defend it?
Exactly.
You're basically back to square one with no champion on a weekly basis.
Pretty much. I can see
So they
them giving it back to Moxley, making him the first 2-time champ, and just kind of letting that be a thing until Punk gets back, and they just have a John Cena CM Punk moment and unify, or Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon moment. You know, who's the true champ?
So we're gonna get it. So to wrap up today's podcast, because we went extra long today because we all, that's how we do. We vibe on that. We still building up to Blood and Guts. That's gonna be on June 29th. That's gonna be a bloody affair. We just reviewed TNA Lockdown, so this is gonna be their version of Lockdown with the Blood and Guts. This Friday is Rampage. Got ROH Tag Team Champions FTR and Trent Beretta versus Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. I guess the United Empire. If this is your type of match you want to watch, have at it. I'm probably not going to care. Got the in-ring debut of Satnam Singh, I'm
Oh
guessing, and Jay
God,
Lethal, so that's going to be a tag team, I guess.
Jesus, wow.
You got Jake Hager versus Eddie Kingston, and you got Red Velvet versus big-headed girl from outer space, Kristen Highlander, aka Chris Statlander. This Rampage is looking kind of
Nah,
skippable.
yeah, not the greatest Rampage lineup, but I mean, question is, will that be live or taped? My guess is probably taped.
It's
I don't
already
know. Maybe
taped.
they're
It was
not.
taped. It was taped yesterday. So
There
there's
you
that.
go.
And then obviously on the next episode of Dynamite, it'll be Miro versus Ethan Page in the All Atlantic Championship qualifying match. Man, we are going into midnight. This is literally how long we've been going. But this has been the GRESH Unleashed podcast. If you want to follow my boy Hi-Lite, his at is literally down below. It's scrolling across. It's been scrolling across the page at Hi-Lite Life on Twitter as well as Instagram. And and then you can always follow us at GRESH Unleashed, at Josh Gresham ORG on every pretty much majority of all social platforms. And if you are new around here, hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow wherever you listen to your podcast. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out. Beat.